Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. What a weekend. I just got back from Formula One, Vegas. Amazing experience. Obviously, it was very hectic, chaotic at times because it was just way too many people in a small town. I don't think Vegas was even expecting this type of congestion. But let's dive in and take a look at the first video I took when I arrived at Wynn in Las Vegas. All right, we are at Wynn for the big Formula One weekend, and this line behind me is for RM auction. Billions of dollars. We're gonna go check it out, and tonight we're gonna go to the paddock. It's Friday for the practice, and then tomorrow is the big race. So follow me on these videos and enjoy it from my view. Very nice. So one of the highlights was RM Sotheby's auction. Over $1 billion worth of goods, a lot of cars, even an Hermes bag that Layla tried to get me to raise my paddle.
Hermes Birkin 25 Epsom leather handbag.
I just heard
offered without reserve.
Hermes Birkin 25. What? They knew I was here.
But it went way over the market. But here, Carrie from RM was gracious enough to take me down in the vault before the auction starts, and I got to look at some of the amazing vehicles they're gonna auction.
So where are we going now?
We're gonna go down to the basement. Secret vault. Right, Carrie?
Yes.
There we go.
And what's there?
How much?
Your dreams?
How much are the estimated value of the cars down there?
Your low estimate is 75 million?
75?
That's across 32 cars though.
32 cars.
Yeah.
I think you're estimating a little bit too low. This is Lexus LFA. Now, this is a Nürburgring one, so it's probably gonna go for 1.5, 1.6 million. This is a really cool one. This is very rare. CLK. How many of these they built, Carrie, you know?
There are 100 coupes.
100 coupes. That's
40 were right-hand drive, 60 were left-hand drive, and then none of them were delivered new to the US.
Ooh.
This is one of a handful in the country.
Yeah, and this is probably gonna go close to $1 million.
We're hoping upwards up.
Yeah,
we'll
upward,
see.
yeah. This is such a beautiful stage to showcase these.
Just wait until this afternoon.
Yeah.
It's really going to be impressive. I think you guys will be smoking all of these.
Oh, awesome! Can't wait. I gotta. She needs to keep this pedal away from me. Otherwise, I'm gonna be going like
Oh,
this.
that's your
and
pedal in
Click
there?
the button,
No.
open the paddle.
What? Oh, maybe I'm pushing the wrong one. Oh, here.
That means you're not allowed to bid. I had
Maybe
a,
that's
I had a talk with them earlier.
Maybe that's a sign.
No, they haven't activated yet.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not sure.
yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, everyone's gonna be messing up with their computer.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
That is cool. So you push
I
this
called
button,
them
this
earlier.
lights up. Wow. All right. Well,
Put it
I'm
in
in
the
luck. It's out of battery. Where else do you see a EB110 Super Sport Bugatti, a CLK GTR, not one but two, a coupe and a roadster, and some other amazing cars? And what do you see there? A yellow Carrera GT. I used to have two of those, and man, I was itching to raise my paddle, but it went a little too rich for my blood. That car had, I think, 8,700 miles, and it went up for $1.5 million, which is nuts. For reference, I sold my last Carrera GT with 2,600 miles for $775,000. What a mistake. I own up to it. I should have kept it. But to be fair, I had paid $350,000 for that car many years prior during the Great Recession. So I figured, hey, I'm doubling my money. How can you go wrong taking a profit? Well, I guess it's best not to get greedy. Leave some money on the table for the next guy.
How much do you think that car's worth now? The one you sold?
Easy $2 million.
2 million.
Oh yeah, 2,600 mile.
Yeah.
It was a two-owner car. The most challenging car to get in and out of, I must say, goes to CLK GTR. Man, that car is tight. First of all, the steering wheel has to come off so you can get in, and then you put the steering wheel back in. But that is so compact. I don't see how any sports players can really take a ride in that car, even without the roof. Now, after being down to the vault, looking at all the cars, we go up to the auction area, and what an entrance the auctioneer made, coming down in a glass elevator. There was a little bit of a show, and then they got the show started. This was an absolutely craziest auction I've ever seen. This was really a show to watch and spend money. biggest highlight, of course, for everyone, including me, was Lewis Hamilton race car from 2013 that he won the championship, and that was his first championship. And this car was expected to go between 12, I think, to 15 million, and it went out at 18.8, including the auction fees. So I think it was 17.7 or 17.5 hammer, and the buyer ended up paying 18.8 is from what I understand. And here you go.
So how are you? 15 million six. 15 million six.
It means a lot to
15
you,
million
man.
seven.
Wow.
What's the feeling of like hearing that kind of dollar amount
Yeah.
go for a car?
It was ridiculous. So it was between this young guy in a white baseball cap and another, I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna go on a limb and assume the guy was a broker because he was constantly on a cell phone, probably talking to a very wealthy collector, was bidding for him. But the final winner went to the young kid with a hat. And I'd love to find out what that guy does for a living, because, you know, nearly 20 million bucks for an art piece, you gotta be making some serious dough. I may have to call Daniel Mack to find out what this guy does for a living. Well, that was the end of the auction, and now we're getting ready to go to the track for the practice. Now we're going to the paddock club. So now we're at the Wen Paddock Club. What an amazing experience. We're on the second level, so very close to the track. And we're on the turn, so you see all the cars coming in, slowing down, and some of them going off the track. So it was a pretty cool experience, and great food, great dining, and super, super VIP. Thank you, Wen, and here is the part.
What does that experience come with? So say you're at the Paddock Club, what's there?
So at Paddock Club, you get full open bar, all you can eat, amazing pasta, everything, steak, vegetables, sushi. But the best part of it is the private balcony. It's not congested. There are very limited people there. And you really get the true experience of watching the show with some elbow room. Well, after qualifying, I don't think we were there too long, but we head over to the Wen Tower Suites, and of course, cigar time with my good friend Sam Ascari. Now, if you guys don't remember Sam, he was my buddy that came over to my garage last time, drove my Bugatti. If you don't remember, go back, watch that video, but he's a cool cat. Well, Saturday morning, we had a nice breakfast at the Chanel Boutique on the patio. No, this was not included under the paddock passes, but this was just a treat from Chanel. So thank you, Chanel, at the Wen. Now, who do I run into after breakfast? Mr. Steve Whiteman. He's the president of Wen. Amazing guy. He runs the show. Very talented, hardworking, and I don't know how he does it, but he does it. So as the day progresses, it's Saturday, showtime. The race is at 10 p.m. They have the ceremony at 9 p.m. and I think we landed at the Paddock Club at 7:30 p.m. to beat the traffic, and here you go. All right, we're all ready for F1. It's Saturday.
Do it.
Game time. All right.
Oh, yeah,
Here at
all
the
of us.
Wen Paddock. I got my best friend here, Nicholas Bijan. If you want to dress to succeed, you gotta
Oh my
talk
God,
to
you
this
gotta
side.
get this.
Oh my
Oh, look who showed up.
Wow.
Got the boom in here. Oh my God. Okay, now
Now it's the party.
game over.
Now it's the party.
So as they're preparing for a race, of course, they gotta check the full 3.8 mile track for nuts, bolts, manhole covers, basically sweep the entire track. And they had some acrobats over there practicing before the ceremony. It was a lot of work they put into this show. I was impressed, and I can't believe how much goes into putting a Formula One racetrack together, especially in Vegas, with limited access from all angles. So it was very impressive to see all that come together. So now the race started. I kid you not, it was the loudest thing I've ever experienced. seeing the cars passing by at those speeds and just, it was mind-blowing. I mean, to see it on TV, but to experience it in person, it was something else. So as you guys saw, Lando had an accident. I was bummed and also concerned, so I went down to McLaren garage to check on him.
Manny's going up to McLaren to see if we can see his friend Lando.
And I ran into his dad. He said he's fine, he's at the hospital. He was just a little shaken up, but thumbs up. And I can't believe when it came down to it between Charles and Sergio, what a race. These two were going neck and neck, especially the last lap. And I want to also congratulate, of course, Max for bringing the race. What a race. This was incredible. And after the race, we had the fireworks and we head over to the Lila for the after hour party, which was very cool to be amongst a lot of celebrities. Kid you not, I had Leonardo DiCaprio sitting right next to me at the next table, and along with many other celebrities there. We didn't last past 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. I should say. Layla and I couldn't last past 2 a.m., but a lot of my friends hung out till 5, 6 a.m. partying. But what a great experience. And we finished it off the next day with a nice spa and hopped on a set jet with some of my friends. And that was the experience. It was a little buzzkill. It took us 6 hours on the runway. We could take off. There were 77 jets in front of us for takeoff. And that congestion was unprecedented at the airport from what our pilot was telling us. But next year, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna fly a couple of days after the race ends to get away from the congestion at the airport. And a huge thank you to Max, Mr. Steve at the WEN for putting this together. Also Tyson, the team at the WEN, their class act, everything was wonderful. We loved it, and I can't wait for the next concourse and the next F1 in 2024. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be safe, be well, and see you guys on the next one.